Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is Abhishek, who is not a financial advisor but is here to help you guys out as a friend. And that's why today I'm going to talk about a future EV giant which I guess everybody knows about, or at least must have heard the name, but somehow nobody's talking about it. So let's just get started. But guys, before we jump onto this amazing company and this amazing stock, I just have a small request to make. You see that like button below on this video? Just hit it. What are you waiting for? Come on, just press like. And if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, you will see a red juicy subscribe button and you just have to click it and you will be a part of this amazing community. So that's all. So those are the two things apart from watching this video you have to do. Now let's move on. Okay guys, so to start with, recently this article came out and the title of the article said, "Forget NIO and Xpeng, this company and Tesla will be the top two electric vehicle players by 2025. And this company is none other than Volkswagen. Yes guys, today's video is dedicated to this German automotive giant and how this company could actually become one of the biggest giants in the EV space as well, and could become therefore one of the biggest competitors of Tesla by 2025. So in this video we'll cover few of the important key highlights which are important from an investor point of view, and this information might help you guys to think about this particular investment. Again guys, this is not a financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. This information is just to help you guys out to bring this particular stock up to your attention, because I see that nobody is actually talking about Volkswagen, as I really like this company and I like their business model, especially when they're working heavily on improving their business strategies, which we will also cover in this video. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. So guys, before we jump into the details of this particular article, I would just like to show you a few highlights of Volkswagen's performance over the last 10 years and some few details of Volkswagen as a group. Yeah, so as we can see right here, Volkswagen Financial Services outperformed with a stable growth in operating income by 400% over the last 10 years, whereas on the other hand, the global GDP growth was just around 38% within the same period, which is from 2009 till 2019. And this was actually possible because of their wide range of services which they provide as Volkswagen Group. So Volkswagen Financial Services, so their business model is divided into, of course, management holding, which has these passenger cars, and which is also further divided into volume models. Then they have premium models like Bugatti, Audi, yeah, and then they have these sports and luxury models like Porsche, Bentley and Bugatti. Then they have a financial holding company as well. So these are some of the financial services which they provide, like banking, leasing, insurance and services for their automotives, then fleet management, used car, and they are using this platform called Heycar in Germany as well, and mobility, of course, which will be the future. So charging and fueling stations, which would be, especially the charging stations, which would be quite an enormous source of income in the coming years when the EV sector will take over. Then they have rental services as well, parking and payment services. So these financial services were actually really beneficial for that 400% of operating income which they achieved in the last 10 years. So as you can see, their stable development in 2020 was quite amazing. So this report is from the quarter third of 2020 for Volkswagen, and their operating profit until 30 September 2020 was around 1.63 billion euros, which is amazing guys. And Volkswagen Financial Services conducts businesses in 48 markets, and these are some of the key figures on the right hand side. Total assets were sitting at $226 billion until quarter 3. Equity position was at 28.6 billion euros, sorry. And then the operating profit was 1.63 billion euros guys, and this is amazing. And as you can see, the contracts and the units were around 21.6 million. So these are the contracts until quarter 3, and I will come on to their future contracts which they are projecting to be at. And the chart here says that their business volume is mostly coming from the leasing department, which is approximately 92.5 billion euros. The credit department gives them a revenue of 67.5 billion euros, and wholesale is giving them 13.2 billion euros. And actually leasing is quite a thing now in Germany and also in Europe, because you get to drive a really amazing car with the leasing contracts, and with all this EV hype, the leasing is becoming much and much more cheaper. So now talking about their future contracts. So as you can see right here that they are planning or they're projecting to reach up to 30 million contracts or units until 2025, and with their amazing, robust and simple business model, which is quite effective, which makes them actually one of the best automotive financial services group in the world, I think this is possible. Now I know guys, it doesn't look like that much as compared to 2019 sales of 21.5 million units, which is just an increase of 8.5 million units, but trust me, with the upcoming competition, this is an amazing growth, guys. And guys, like I mentioned, that increase in those sales of units by 8.9 million units until 2025 doesn't sound much, but actually it is, because on the other hand, they're also working on their cost income ratio, and they are targeting to reduce their cost income ratio until 2025 up to 40%. And this includes like productivity, IT costs, cost of sales. So their target is to improve their existing business model and to reach a benchmark where they can really achieve a good cost income ratio to make those profit margins much better. And by improving their existing business model, they are projecting to have a revenue from just refinancing mix from Volkswagen Financial Services until 2025 to be at 300 billion euros as compared to 2020 of approximately 223 billion euros. And of course, guys, this pandemic actually showed us the power of digitizing, and Volkswagen will follow the same concept, and Volkswagen Financial Services will digitize all products by 2025 and extend its distribution channels. And I guess that this digital capability will help them to expand their business, and this digitalization will make them achieve these online extra sales, which will help them to achieve that target until 2025. Okay guys, so now since you have a small idea or a brief overview about Volkswagen's business model, which is quite important to look at from an investor point of view, so if you don't know about it, now you know. And also I showed you some highlights from their financial conditions from Q3 2020. So now let's move on, or let's get back to the article which we wanted to discuss from the beginning of this video. So Swiss bank UBS predicts that the battle for dominance in electric vehicles will heat up over the next few years, with one company rising to join Tesla in the top 2 companies for global EV sales. And of course, this company is none other than Volkswagen. Yeah, and Swiss bank, apart from that, recently increased its forecast for how electric vehicles will be adopted, and is now predicting that EVs will penetrate 100% of the automobile market by 2040, which is quite astonishing to be honest, but seems like it might happen. And that means the battle of the most dominant car maker is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Yeah, which is of course true if it happens. So this is the highlight of the article, and the analyst from the Swiss bank said, if Tesla is the Apple of electric vehicles, then Volkswagen is the Samsung of electric vehicles. And the analysts are also saying that the global automobile giant Volkswagen Group owns a brand which is including of course Audi, Porsche, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, and in the past year the company has raced past Tesla to become the most dominant electric vehicle group in Europe at least, okay, and the world's largest EV market behind China. Volkswagen now controls actually between 20% to 25% of the market in this key region, which is like amazing, guys. And that's why I quite agree with this statement that Volkswagen is the Samsung of electric vehicles. And the article further said that UBS predicts that by 2025, there will be manufacturing cost parity between electric and non-electric vehicles, compared with a $5,000 cost difference in 2020 among more expensive EVs. The average operating margin for EVs should grow to 7% by that time from 1% in 2020, which would mean margin parity between EVs and conventional cars within 4 years. And therefore, I do think, and that's what also the analysts expect, that Volkswagen might catch up with Tesla in terms of total volume of cars sold as soon as maybe next year or until 2025. But I do think that Volkswagen eventually will catch up Tesla in terms of total volume of the cars or units sold. And then following this particular article, there was another really bullish article which came out last week, which said that Volkswagen hikes battery cell demand in aggressive EV expansion. So last week, Volkswagen announced it was speeding up its transformation to EV maker because it doubled its forecast for the share of battery-powered cars in Europe to 70% by 2030. And Volkswagen also sees EV sales surging to more than 50% of sales in China and the US in the same time frame. And to achieve this goal, Volkswagen requires about 300 gigawatt hours worth of battery cells a year by the end of the decade. And therefore, this expansion has to be done. And that is a really bullish point. And of course, guys, when we talk about EV cars, we talk about EV batteries. And when we talk about EV batteries, that means recycling is must. So Volkswagen also announced on Tuesday it's scaling up a new process that can recover up to 95% of raw materials from used EV batteries. Current recycling methods can recover only 60% of the raw materials. Therefore, the German automaker opened an EV recycling plant in Salzgitter earlier this year. And this means, guys, an extra source of revenue. So Volkswagen is really expanding like crazy. And Volkswagen's acceleration into this EV zone is an effort to gain market share from Tesla, which is quite obvious. And Volkswagen has said it plans to invest about $19 billion in electrification and digital services up to 2025. Now, guys, of course, both Tesla and Volkswagen are or could be at the forefront of the industry, but in different areas. So Tesla is, of course, a clear leader on the battery side, but Volkswagen, on the other hand, has put what we think is the best scalable EV platform on the road. Very cost efficient and really covering all the segments from compact cars to large SUVs. And that's why I think Volkswagen as a whole group, Volkswagen Group, is one platform under one roof, which gives you every kind of possible services, which is an amazing business model, to be honest. Okay guys, so now coming on to the price target, and these are some of the price targets and the ratings from some of the 5-star analysts from big firms and banks. So as you can see, JP Morgan Chase and Corporation gives it a buy rating, Volkswagen a buy rating, with a price target of 215 euros. Then we have Jefferies Financial Group. It gives a neutral rating with a price target of 185 euros. Then we have Goldman Sachs Group, which gives Volkswagen a buy rating again with a price target of 219 euros. Royal Bank of Canada gives them a buy rating as well with 208 euros price target. Then we have Deutsche Bank here, which gives them a buy rating as well with 185 euros price target. Then we have Bank of America, which also gives them a buy rating with 174 euros price target, which is quite undervalued, to be honest. We have Morgan Stanley, which also gives them a neutral rating with 135 euros price target, which I don't think is realistic for Volkswagen, considering their, of course, their expansion and their improvement in the business model. But anyways, this is from 2020. Then we have HSBC with 160, but of course this is also from 2020. And I think these price targets are quite low from 2020. As you can see, after 2020, it's more than 180 euros for sure. This was, of course, because of, I think, the pandemic. So it's okay. So yeah, these are some of the price targets. So let's say in 2021, an average price target we can consider up to 190 euros. And actually, Volkswagen is sitting at 190 euros at the time of recording this video. So this is okay. But honestly, okay, the price is 196 euros in the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. So like we already saw that they are going to improve their business model, existing business model, and getting their feet wet into the EV space. I think they have a huge scope. And I think until 2025, they can easily reach 300 euros. And yeah, it can go beyond that, but I don't think that it will stay below 200 euros until 2025. So we still have a minimum of 50% upside potential with this amazing company. And guys, with such an amazing company getting an upside potential of 50%, I think it's good. And it's quite a safe investment, to be honest. So Volkswagen is definitely not going anywhere. So, and 50% is very conservative, guys, considering the upside potential this company has. And like I said, they are expanding into EV sector as well. So I think, yeah, this is a really conservative price target of 300 euros according to me in the next 5 years. So it can definitely cross that. But let's say, yeah, 300 euros is still suitable. So yeah, that's all guys. That's all for Volkswagen Group, and I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then please hit that like button. It really helps me, it really helps the YouTube algorithm, and therefore it helps me and it supports the channel. So yeah guys, please, just one click. Okay, so guys, with that being said, I will wrap up today's video. I will see you in the next one guys. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep printing some money, and ciao.